This is Jamie Lissow, and you are listening to The Barn.
Welcome to The Barn, live from the Barn Studios in Southeast Missouri. You got the Mox here with Chuck. Chuck, how are you, my man?
Perfect as always, buddy.
Getting ready for the weekend. We got Jamie Lissow in town this weekend at the St. Charles Funny Bone, and we have him online right now. Jamie, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, gentlemen?
Doing good. You're in town tonight, tomorrow, this weekend, and we're going to catch you at the Funny Bone in St. Charles, Missouri. Welcome to St. Louis. Have you been here before?
I have been here before. I'm very excited to be here. I left New York City. I told my manager I would only go somewhere equally as dangerous and to book whatever he could. I've been here before. You know what's funny, man? I have so I started doing this show called Gutfeld, which is where most of my fans know me from. And what's funny is, like, I didn't know how the reception of the show was going to be, like, as I went on the road. And the St. Charles Funny Bone was the first place that I started off my tour, and I literally been doing comedy for 20 years and have never, I had no idea what to expect. And when I walked into that Funny Bone, it was packed with people from the show. And so I will never forget, not only have I been here, but I will never forget that this is kind of like the first place ever since my, not like a resurgence, but it's like the new chapter in my long time doing comedy. And, so I have great memories of walking into that club on Thursday night and it just being like packed with people, and they knew who I was, and it wasn't, and it was really cool. So yeah, I've been here before, love it, big fan.
So not only do you have the stranglehold on Alaska comedy, but St. Charles, Missouri is a
Dude, that's right.
Jamie Lissow town, man.
The only two places I get recognized, man.
That's
St. Charles and Alaska.
Funny you're there, though. That's me and Chuck's old stomping grounds. We went to college in St. Charles, Lindenwood Lions. Shout out.
That's a nice place. Don't St. Louis. That's where they murder a lot.
Yeah, stay.
Oh, okay. This is the okay.
No, yeah, you're non-murder. Yeah, you're fine.
You're good there.
Oh, okay. I trust you guys.
You can take a walk around and everything. Yeah,
it actually is a really nice area.
It is. Yeah.
I was just walking around here.
We love this Real Rob on Netflix, man. 2 seasons in. I mean, talk about a funny show with a funny cast. I know you're co-producing, co-writing, co-starring. Tell us about Real Rob and working with Rob Schneider.
Oh, it's so funny, man. I just had to ignore Rob's call just now talking to you guys. I swear to God. Happy to do it.
We get Gustavo. He gets fucking Rob Schneider.
Yeah, we got Gustavo calling us.
I'll call Rob back as soon as I'm up. But it's a wild ride, man. Like, what's fun about writing a TV show that, and by the way, it's only on Netflix for, I think, a few more months. We actually own the show. Netflix licensed it. And what's beautiful about that is we could do a season 3 and take it somewhere else, which is all what we're discussing right now. So we're really looking forward to find out like what happens with season 3 and where it will all end up. And dude, working with Schneider on a show that's about Rob Schneider, it's one of the easiest writing gigs you can have, because whenever you're stuck, you just like look at Rob and go, tell me something funny that happened in your life. And we end up writing, like, I don't know how far into the series you are, but I remember like season 2, we had to write an episode. We just had nothing, We just had no ideas, and we were trying to think of something about him being famous, but how he still has to deal with some of the headaches that regular people have to deal with, even though he's famous. And I go, you ever have anything happen when you're, you're famous? Being famous really helps you. And he was like, oh, I was in Vegas once, and I hit a guy with my car, and the cops came and cared more about him than me than him.
I remember that episode.
And I was like, what?
Oh, that's funny.
And so we made it an episode. That is almost 100% true story.
Oh, that's crazy. That's a funny episode. I don't know if you got there, but I've watched the damn series twice. I love the show. I had a big question about Rob Schneider, though, and just him personally. I'm a big sports cards collector, and I know that he got his, dude, he had a Willie Mays PSA 9 Bowman 51, like, it might be the only one in the world. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
It's got to be really, there's not many. Did he ever get that back?
Dude, I got it right here. Because his place was robbed, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
That's right. I didn't mention it. Yeah, his place was robbed and somebody stole that out of his house.
Oh, man.
I would kill him. I'd kill him.
I know. That is a crazy... They took, like, not only valuable, but just really like personal stuff. No, he never got that back.
Oh God, dude, I can't imagine how much that's worth, man. Like
I know. I think they took a wedding ring or something. That was a terrible time for him, man. Ooh. Oh man, yeah, that was rough. A similar thing happened to me. Somebody took my air mattress.
Ooh, and, oh God, that's punishable.
Yeah, kind of. It was like a one of a kind. I mean, there were a few more at the Walmart, but I had just bought this one, and
hey, $30 is $30, man. You can't.
Yeah, it was signed by Sam Walton. It was devastating to me and my family.
Of course.
And they didn't take my wedding ring, but they took my Ring doorbell, which I really had a connection to that.
Oh, if it's one of those you had to wire yourself, man, that sucks because that's tough to do. Yeah, that's a bitch.
That was a whole afternoon. It was a whole afternoon.
Yeah, but he never got that back, man. That was brutal when that happened.
As a collector, man, I can't imagine. I mean, that's his favorite team growing up.
Oh, wow.
Stuff. Yeah. So it's got his favorite player in history and shit. And
super rare.
There's probably only one or two of those in the world. God, I can imagine.
It's just terrible, man. Yeah. It really worked out for me because I collect tragic stories. I was able to add this one to my collection.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just brutal, man. I can't believe you remember that. I was driving through Alaska at the time with his assistant, and it is a long story, but I remember we heard about that on that big drive to Alaska. I just remember pulling over and being like, oh, no, man. And we felt bad that we weren't around, and the assistant felt bad he wasn't there, and
jeez,
it was crazy. Yeah, we got a lot of money for that card, though. So.
I know, no kidding.
In Alaska.
In
Alaska. Also worked with Rob on a daddy-daughter trip.
Ooh.
Guy down on his luck trying to make a promise to his daughter, and I've been there before. I've been on some daddy-daughter trips. I'm a father of 3. Chuck has some as well.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about daddy-daughter trip.
Yeah, man. And so I got something else to tell you guys, too, I got to remember. So we did daddy-daughter trip, which was filmed in Phoenix, Arizona. It was kind of a, how people had like COVID babies, because they were inside.
Yeah.
And then they ended up sleeping together. That was me and Rob Schneider's COVID baby. Because all of the gigs got canceled, and we were like, we got to find something to do. And we just started writing that movie. And somehow, as the pandemic and the shutdowns got longer and longer, we just finished writing it. We ended up getting someone to finance it. We ended up shooting it. It ended up being like the thing we did when we couldn't tour. And yeah, it's a nice little story about a dad trying to take his daughter on this big trip, and he has no money. And so he, instead of going to the water slide, he takes her to the car wash and he gets on the hood. And instead of, it's this kind of like sweet story about, a father-daughter thing. And what I want to say, guys, is I don't know if you saw this news, but we actually are in the middle of working on, you guys remember the movie The Animal with Rob?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're doing The Animal 2 for Fox-Tubi. And that's why Rob called me just now, is because we're on a final draft for, we're doing like one of those fun little 20 years later,
Wow.
Very cool.
Renaissance cool. Of this. Yeah. And we're really psyched, man. It came out really good. Rob said to me the other day, he said, I thought The Animal was a really good movie. It's a good story. I don't know if you remember, but it's a beautiful story. I feel like it's really well structured. And Rob was like, this one's officially better than the original. So he's real psyched about it. So that's going to come out on Fox-Tubi. We're going to go into production probably like in 2 months here.
I'm in, man. I'm in. Okay, so on Daddy-Daughter Trip, you played an apprentice to, your character played an apprentice to John Cleese.
Dude, can I tell you, he's my number one, right? Like
he's way up there, man.
My dad loved him. I loved him. It was like something me and my dad really had in common, was like, you like different stuff than your parents. And I remember like Monty Python was something we absolutely loved. And so I went to a dinner with like Rob and John Cleese, was just like so nervous the whole time and like almost like having an out of body experience. And I would hate to see a videotape of what I was like during that dinner. And, so fast forward, Rob had been like, oh, we got to get you a part in the movie. And, when no one's looking, I just changed the name of the character John Cleese saw and did it Jamie. And 100% true. I just changed the name. And as it moves forward, everyone just goes, oh, that must be Jamie's doing this scene with John Cleese. So I give myself a scene. I wrote the damn movie, so why not give myself a scene with John Cleese?
Of course.
And we do the scene. He's everything you would want him to be. He reminds me of Adam Sandler in that way, that like It's the best possible experience once you meet the real person, like just an incredible person. And dude, I swear we hit it off so well. I would say like 2 days later, I'm walking on the road. I get a strange number on my phone. I answer it, and it's just John Cleese.
Oh, that's surreal, man.
And he went to he had gotten my number from somebody. He just called to say hi and ask how editing was going and talk to me about some other film he's doing and wants to send it to me. And I'm just like, this is the craziest thing. It was wild. And so, yeah, I like really made a new friend. That he's still got it. You know, his timing's ridiculous. He's still got it, and it's just like literally they say don't meet your heroes. Not true in this case.
It's kind of like that Chris Farley scene with Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, dude, that's what the dinner was like.
You remember that time? Remember that time you did that thing?
Oh, remember that silly walk? That was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. He searched for your number, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, it was really wild. It was a wild time, and we still keep in touch. Like, he's good buddies with Rob, and we'll do a call, not often, but every few months or something, just to check in. And he's going to be in the Animal too. He's going to be. Remember,
cool.
there was a crazy doctor that gave Rob all of his animal parts.
Yeah.
John Cleese is going to be the new Dr. Wilder that gives Rob all his animal parts.
Dude, he's such a legend, man. Faulty Towers. Oh, I don't know if you ever watched that.
Oh, dude. I saw every minute of that shit.
Yes.
Rob Schneider says that Faulty Towers was one of the inspirations for Real Rob because Cleese wrote that with his wife.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Wow.
As I was saying that, I was like, did I just make this up? We should fact check that.
I do that all
I
the
may
time.
have literally made that up, but I think it's true.
I do that all the time. I'll say something that I think is a fact, and then I look at their reaction. I'm like, oh, shit, did I make that up?
Dude, I might have made it up. I'm not even sure John Cleese called me.
I'm not sure I'm playing St. Charles tonight.
I don't know if anything's true. It's been a long travel day.
Some of these situations, like being in the Rob circle, I guess, I found yourself working with Spade and Sandler and some of these guys. But I got to ask you about Norm Macdonald and working with Norm. I know, Norm, that was one of the last things I think that Norm had actually did when he was in one of your episodes. And Norm's like a hero to me and to us. So talk a little bit about Norm, if you don't mind.
Oh, dude. And so tragic. He was probably my number one comedian. Yeah. And then like getting to meet him and like when he was in Real Rob, I have never laughed harder. I was not in the scene. I was like behind the camera. I've never almost ruined a take until Norm Macdonald was ad-libbing. It was some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard in my life. He was just a genius. And again, like just the nicest guy. And like, he was supposed to be in Daught Trip. And I think that's when he wasn't feeling well. And we didn't know what was going on, but he just wasn't. We had a role for him where he was actually going to play just the voice of a Ring doorbell. And we couldn't get him, we just could never arrange, the times and get him into the studio. And looking back, we think that's what was going on. Like maybe he just wasn't feeling up to it, and that's why we weren't able to.
Did you guys even give him do you give him a script, or you just sit down and say, "This is what's your
be Norm"?
Yeah, your guy that
you're Norm. Be Norm.
Be Norm.
For Real Rob, he had a script, but everything that's in the show, I think, is ad-libbed, except for a couple of story points. But every joke that's in the show, I think he made up.
Good Lord, man. What a genius.
Yeah, we lost a great one there, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So tragic.
Okay, so I'm obsessed with Alaska. Not to live there, I don't think, but to one of my bucket list things is to just get, because the sun is shining, in my mind, at 2 a.m., I don't know how light it is. I want to get shit-faced at the bar, go play golf at 2 a.m. Is that possible?
Dude, I think that's a great idea. Let me tell you what you should not do. Do not go to a bar in the summer. By the way, the winter is the opposite, so it's just dark for 9 months out of the year. But you're correct. In the summer, it's bright outside. Getting shit-faced, going to play golf is a great idea. What is not a good idea is meeting a girl in a bar and walking outside into the sun.
Oh, God.
The darkness is there for a reason.
Ooh.
We need the darkness. The darkness is a huge part of the one-night stand. You don't realize it until you both walk outside and you go, what are we even doing here?
Oh, God.
And you look at each other and just go separate ways.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's like the gynecologist thing, man. He's like, oh, yeah, gynecologist, but then there's the bad parts to it, too, man. Bad parts.
Yeah, it's not all.
Dude, I worry about the male gynecologist that comes home and his wife is like, you want to have sex? And he's like, more work.
Right. Yeah, no.
I saw these all day.
Oh,
Tonight and this weekend, you are going to be catching Jamie Lissow at the Funny Bone in St. Charles, Missouri. His hot spot. It's going to be packed there. I don't know if you can get a ticket, but if you can, you need to get down there and check it out. 2 for Friday and Saturday, right? Early show, late show?
Yeah, man. And there's a few tickets left for all shows, but they are getting close to where we're going to sell them out.
Awesome.
So if anybody wants to come, I'd love to see. I love it here. It's my first, I swear, man, it was like the first part of the rebirth of this. I could not be more excited to be back here.
And we're lucky to have you in town. You're going to go to the Funny Bone in St. Charles for 2 shows, early show and late show, and see Jamie Lissow. Jamie, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for talking with us,
Awesome
man.
talking to you, man. Awesome.
Good talking to you guys, man. I got to go fence this Willie Mays card before the show tonight, but it was real nice catching up with you guys.
We'll cut all that shit if you need us to.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks,
Bye,
Jamie.
buddy. Bye.
Okay, have a good one.